Now directly up in front of us, these square buildings are the hangars where our orbiters used to live between missions. About 4 years ago, Atlantis was brought up the highway to the visitor complex. NASA's leasing them out though. Number 1 and 2 here in front of us going to the Air Force for their X-37B. The third one with big mural wrapped around it for the Boeing Command and Service Module will take NASA's commercial crews to the space station starting about a year and a half from now. And when we get on the other side of the hangars, you will see the original big doors that used to let the 78-foot wingspan and 56-foot high tail of our orbiters go through. We're also going to show you a little in the distance one of our 2 crawler transporters that move our platforms and spacecraft. We built them during Apollo to move the moon rockets, modified both for shuttle. One of the 2, this one, was modified with new hydraulics and engines for the heavier SLS rollout. We'll go past the other one a lot closer. Off to the right, parked back there, that low gray vehicle is the upgraded crawler transporter. As you see it, it weighs over 6 million pounds. Again, we'll get closer to the other one. Directly up in front of us is one of our 3 shuttle launch platforms sitting on pylons. There's a second one in the big building, the third one's on our other crawler. The shuttle platforms were derived from the Apollo platforms years ago, and this platform in front of us by itself weighs over 9 million pounds. When we go by underneath, you'll see one big opening for the 3 main engines of the orbiter. Next to it, the other openings for the solid boosters to blast through. Just enough room underneath for the crawler to get under there and pick it up. The first really new piece of equipment up in front of us, the platform and tower being built for the SLS. This weighs over 10.5 million pounds. Right now it's 380 feet tall to handle the first version of SLS. Our deeper space Mars version with an upper stage, we're going to lengthen the tower up. Underneath is one rectangular opening for the 4 main engines and 2 boosters to blast through too. So someday people will launch from this to the red planet Mars. Coming up to the 2 eastern bays of the VAB where we've stacked up shuttles for over 30 years. They're both being changed out for the Space Launch System now. When we get past the trailers and shipping containers up here, we'll show you just how big this place is in more human terms. There aren't many square buildings in the world, so it's really hard to tell how large it is. But if you look in between the big gray bay doors and the white part of the building in the middle, and all the way down to ground level, in the center of the building at ground level, you'll see 3 8-foot high, double wide human doors that look like mouse holes down there. Finally, some scale to the place. The long white building next door is the Launch Control Center, 4 firing rooms behind the windows. We'll talk more about that on the way back from the launch pads when we go by it. Right now we're driving parallel to our stone crawler way. Wide as an 8-lane highway, the crawlers straddle the grass strip in the middle, and this is how we brought our spacecraft to the pad since 1967. Directly in front of us is the waterway where the barge Pegasus would dock with parts of the spacecraft. And up in front to the right, where the buildings are all gathered together, that's the press site. That's as close as anybody gets to a launch, 3.5 miles from either pad. We'll go past that on the way back too. Now we do have a special roadway out here for two good reasons. Number one, weight. Again, the crawler transporters weigh 6 million pounds, the shuttle platform 9 million pounds, the shuttle stack above that was only about another 4.5 million. Second part of the equation, well, we're in Florida with soft, sandy soil. Mix that together, you'd sink right in. So, to build this, we dug down a little over 6 feet, put in layers of hydraulic fill, crushed rock, limestone, and this topping of Alabama River rock. No wonder the steel treads of the crawler it crushes to dust.